Hey everybody, this is me, Laura. I'm doing this really quick video because I was doing a lot of thinking, and as far as childhood, trauma, and why we do what we do now, in the current state. And so a lot of it has to do with because I've been doing a lot of thinking, as far as me moving forward and me, doing things for myself, And so, I've been noticing a lot of oppositions, and it has been happening, in patterns, like all the time, And it's not that I haven't done anything about it because I've tried everything in the book that I could, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the other person, right? Because the person has childhood wounds. A lot of times when I see people that can't seem to let go, it is because they were neglected when they were a child, or they were rejected when they were a child. Right now we have China and Aries, so a lot of these people back then, that were born during this era, they were neglected as child, and I know that both my parents, they used to work. And I remember I used to wait for my mom to come from her graveyard shift, and she would be so mad at me because I was up waiting for her and stuff like that. And she was like, "You should be asleep. You have to wake up for school." And I'm like, I know. I just wanted to wait for you, but, that's the kind of thing, that I've always wanted, that closeness, And a lot of times with these child with Chiron and Aries, like they didn't have that type of relationship. They were either independent children, or they had to take responsibility, or they were hopping from house to house, maybe from the aunt to the grandma to the neighbor. Somebody was sitting, right, while the parents were making money or something. And so a lot of times what happens is that when you can't seem to let go of a person, you will create obstacles in that person's life, right? And like if that person is having, a lot of good stuff happening to them, or things are starting to, look up and stuff, like they will come against it, and a lot of times it's because um they're afraid that that person's going to let them go or whatever. But a lot of it is illusion because the person that is afraid, like that person's never been in my life. You know what I mean? And so they really need to get right with their head as far as, you know, do I really know this person, or is it just my illusion? Do I have her phone number in my phone? You know, do I know where she lives? Do I know, any family members? Do I talk to any of her family members? Have we met? Have we had coffee? Have we had, you know, you got to think in reality. Like you're not thinking real. When you think you know somebody, social media can be really, really confusing as far as, thinking you know somebody you don't. Usually that happens with celebrities, right? With celebrities, it's like we imagine that, they're our friends or we know them or whatever, but I'm not a celebrity. You know what I mean? Yes, I am somebody that fascinates, and I'm an influencer and stuff like that. So, I don't understand how people can get obsessed, you know, um, and think there's something going on when I don't even know the person. You know what I mean? It is so stupid and it is so silly to think you know me when you don't know me. You don't know anything about my life, you know? And so you got to really, step into reality. And if you're doing any drugs or drinking any alcohol, you really need to get off that. So I just wanted to do this video because I wanted to pretty much put it out there. If anybody's going through anything like that, if somebody is coming against any of your goals and, things that you're doing, know that the person is doing it because of fear, because they're afraid that you might leave them for some reason or something. But what happens is when you cut the cords, it is when you elevate, you cut that cord. You know what I mean? When they're lower here and you're up here, there's a separation already. So the only way that they could get on your level is coming up here because you've already elevated, right? And so the cord has been cut already. You know what I mean? They're the only ones that are fighting and battling to stay in a situation, not even a relationship. It's a situation. Um, and you're like, dude, I've been done. Like, nothing has ever happened. Like, I never really considered you at all in my life. Not even really, but I've never considered you in my life, you know. If anything, I've just tried to be helpful because I am a coach, you know. And maybe that got construed into me having feelings or something when none of that was happening. And the only reason I like to help people is so they can get a breakthrough and they can move on with their lives. But that's it. And so I just wanted to do this video because I wanted to just, put it out there for anybody that's going through something similar to just be self-aware. The only way you can cut a cord is by elevating. Once you elevate, you're no longer in that space. So anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Bye.